Jai Hind everyone, welcome again to the Patriotic IAS. Let's start our IAS PCSwala daily current affairs. Under that we have six topics that we will cover one by one from the that belong from the GS paper 1 to GS paper 4, and all these has the relevance. We will read, we will analyze all of them as per their connectivity, their specification with the prelims and mains. So the first topic that we will cover is the state being compelled to move court against the centers. Supreme Court has observed this, that state being compelled to the move court against the center. So here it is the warning from the Supreme Court to the union that please be careful that you should not compelling all the state in the such a situation which facing the difficulty you are not releasing the fund. So this is particularly in the case of the southern states such as the Karnataka, Kerala. So we have seen that such tendency even into the Tamil Nadu. So again it will be the means specific center state relationship. Then we will see that a case of the AP tribal woman giving birth on the road. So this shows the condition of the tribal people, and this will come under the GS paper 1 society. You can also use it under the ethics as a case study, as a very good example of the how the corruption is impacting the very vulnerable, very marginalized, very weak section of the society. So again, this will be men's specific. Then we will study the right against the climate change. So already we know that there has been the recognition of the right to the clean environment, but yes, if there is any of the bad impact or the harm impact of the climate, this will be also come under the Article 20. Again, it will be for the prelims, as well as you can write a mains answer, but the mains answer, so mainly it is for the prelims specific. Then we will study that Indian aviation, a case of air safety at discount. Here continuously there is news that we have seen that the DGCA has brought the notification for the safety concern of the pilot, but the still that has been deferred due to the protests from the airlines. So that's why this will be for the mains GS paper 3, and civil aviation will be under the GS paper 3, as well as the regulatory authority that is part of the GS paper 2. So it is overlapping. Then we will study that promise or the pay on the political parties and their manifesto. This comes under GS paper 2, the elections. Here it has been criticized that the way these political parties are bringing their manifesto, that is not sustainable, that is not showing the rationality. And in the last we will study the marching ahead with the technology absorption. It is under the GS paper 3, internal security. In this article we are going to analyze the how our defense sector need new technology as well as adaptation, absorption, acquisition, and the integration with the traditional technology. So it will be for the GS paper 3, internal security, and we will write a mains answer on this topic. So it will be very much mains specific. Okay, let's start with the front page and the first news that we will see. We have one information, one data release that's saying that we have the highest level of the debt to the people. The people, the household, they have the debt surge, and this is the historically high. Okay, so here it is showing that it is highest into the last 45, 47 years. So people have the more debt and less saving, and it is the record high, and this shows that the condition of economy in stable condition if the such thing perpetuates. So it has been the highest, that is the more vulnerable. So here it is showing that the saving had dropped to the 5.1% and a 47 years low. Okay, and there could be the financial instability, and that is not being accepted by the finance ministry. Okay, so this is the case. So you should know that taking loan is not bad thing. Means if you are taking the loan and if you are earning much more, you can easily pay. But if you are taking the loan and you are not, your earning is decreasing, that is the cause of concern. And here the earning, the income of the people is decreasing, loan is increasing, and the saving is decreasing. Means saving, if you don't have the money, how could you save? And people don't have the money to consume, and that's why they are taking the loan. The main cause of the concern is they are taking loan for the essential goods. If you are taking loan for some investment in your capital, for example, you are taking loan for just running your household. You are not investing it into the new earning. So this is cause of concern, because you will eat all exhaust. All will exhaust without adding the source of the income. So the loans will pile up and you will not able to give back. Okay. So this is the main cause of concern. Here it is given. Government is not accepting it. Next news is the state being compelled for the move court against the center. So we have seen that the states such as the Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, they are consistently in the claim of the different type of the money funding from the center, and center is denying. For one of the most important example is the money in the case of the disaster. National Disaster Response Fund talks about the money should be given to the state if they are not sufficiently, their state fund is not sufficient for to risk and rehabilitate or the face such disaster. And we have seen that in the Tamil Nadu there was the cyclone and the flood condition. The Karnataka there is the drought situation, and that is very intense. And they are asking for the money in different capacity, but they are not. The center is not fulfilling this, and that's why the tussle is going on. So here the state is telling that as per the rule there should be this should be released into the within 1 month, but they are not following the rule. Center is not following rule. In that case, this is the cause of concern. So you have this type of the point to write whenever the question come under the center state relation. Okay. This is just a scene where the bunker has now been used as the kitchen, because there has been the peace, and we have seen that this peace is due to the India-Pakistan agreed to the re-observance of the 2003 ceasefire agreement. So you can see that the benefit of the peace, when these people were facing the attack and the artillery and the lot of such thing, bombing of this area, and they were forced to live into the bunkers. Now due to the peace they are able to make these bunkers as the kitchen, so they can use, their life is improved. So this is the situation, this is the case where the peace will be better, peace will be good, and peace is always supportive, and it should be supported by the every people, because this bring the prosperity. You can give it into the, you can write it whenever the essay comes on the relevance or the peace process. You should always support the peace process whatever the condition, because the war is not the solution, and war is not good for the anyone. Even those who wins the war, they ultimately lose. Russia can win the war, but there has a lot of the casualty, the death of the Russian people, and also there has been the destruction of the property, infrastructure. All this thing is going on. So war is not good for the anyone. You can bring it into the your essay or the ethics paper as well. You can give this. There could not be a better example than this. Next important we will take is again AP tribal woman gives birth on the road. Here this is a case study that how the tribal people, they are suffering, they don't have the access to the facility. So the condition was that these tribal women, she were living in a distant village area where there was no connectivity to the road, connectivity to the village. So when there was when they called for the ambulance came, but it was at a distant place from her house, her village, the tribal village. So because the road was not that much well, or that much connected to that transportation was possible, and that's why this ambulance was stopped, and it was standing at a place a little bit far away from the house of this tribal women. When the villagers tried to carry her to that ambulance, in middle of that there was the delivery, and there was a huge billing. It is fortunate that they saved their life, but yes, in the such a situation, there could be the casualty as well. So think about what is the situation of those who are living into the tribal or the forest area. Beside that, there is the claim from the opposition party that already there was the fund that was provided to construct the road, but it is due to the corruption this road was not constructed. Can you imagine? Due to this corruption, just one or two people get the benefit, but how much people are at the loss? There could be the loss of the life even in such a situation. So these are the things you can use into your answer whenever you are going to write your ethics answer as a case study. This type of the thing help you fetching more marks. And this is very impactful. This make your answer very impactful because it connects the tribal people, it connects the corruption, impact of the corruption, and also a lot of other things that you can bring and you can use in your ethics answer writing, as well as even you can use in your essay paper. This is the way you learn the effective answer writing. Next important news that we will take is the right against the climate change, a fundamental right, says the Supreme Court. So here, the case is that already there is the recognition of the clean environment as the fundamental right under the Article 21. Now, the case was that when there is the climate change, we are not able to provide the clean environment and the people are getting impacted. So, what is needed? We need to recognize that if there is any harm the people are facing due to the climate change, they should be compensated. And due to that, the Supreme Court has recognized that if there will be any of the harmful impact due to the climate change, so it will come against under the right against the climate change. So this is a very good new development, and it is a expansion of Article 21. Already we have seen that there is lot of expansion because Supreme Court is of the view that if already we have included the right to healthy life or the right to health under the Article 22, because you cannot live or lead a good life until and unless there is the right to health. You have the accessibility of the health. So here the Supreme Court has also recognized that if right to health is under 21 and if there is the impact due to the climate change on the right or health of the people, so also the right against the climate change should come under Article 21. So you can use that how the Supreme Court has expanded and widened the different rights of the people under Article 21. So you can write, you can use this further point. Airport is the Karipur Airport. Kajipur, that is also the Calicut, where the first European reached here in India. In history you will read that this Calicut is very famous. Here the Jamarine, they provided the Muslims for the making the first site for making their mosque. Oldest mosque and the church that is in the India located in this area. Okay. So just this is the historical fact, but here the thing is that in the Karipur airport there was the air crash in 2020. What happened? When the airplane is landing, that was coming from the Dubai, and that airplane was landing. And at that particular day there was the rain and the runway was wet, and that's why this aeroplane skid from its runway and it's break into the two part. There was the death of the many passengers. Okay. So what was the fault that was observed in this case? There was the lack of runway air safety area. What is the runway air safety area? This is the runway. If this is made, this is the needed for the aeroplane to take that distance, to get its speed, to take flight or to take the landing stop. Okay. So there is always extra area that is provided. So in the case of any emergency, the aeroplane will have some area that can cover, and that aeroplane can stop, take extra area to stop it. For example, whenever you are speeding your bike, some extra space is provided so that if your speed is very high, you can take some time to take a break and halt your bike. The same is here aeroplane here on the airport. This is the runway strip. Beside the runway strip, an area is provided that is known as the runway end safety area. Runway end safety area, and that is lacking into the Kozhikode. There could be other crash as well. Already we have seen 2020, but there has been no action that has been taken till now. 4 years passed, still this runway in safety area is absent into the Kozhikode. So whenever you are flying for the Kozhikode, you should be very much careful about your life. Okay. The second thing that is in the news is the flight duty time limitation. It's talk about the rest period that is given to the pilot, the fatigue analysis of the pilot, mental stress of the pilot, the consecutive night shift given to the pilot, that there was the concession given in that. Extra time was given for the rest so that if the pilot is working in a very healthy and fresh manner, there is the less chances of the such accident or the such security issue. Okay, so here we see that continuously this flight duty time limitation, it was delayed. This was not implemented despite the DGCA gave the notification to the airlines, please implement it, but the airlines are taking that we don't have the resources, we need extra money to hire the pilot if we are going to give the more number of the week off and the rest time. If you are going to give lot of concession into their night flight duties or the flight night duties, all that is needed lot of expenditure. So we need time. So for your safety of the resource, for the saving your resource and earning your money, what we are compromising? We are compromising the safety of passenger. This is the main thing. Okay. Some basic thing you should know that which institution body that regulate this civil aviation at international level. The name of this is the International Civil Aviation Organization. Its headquarters is into the Geneva, Switzerland, and it is the specialized body of United Nations. So you should remember this. In India, we have the Director General of the Civil Aviation, and it's mainly work into the area of the civil aviation, and its main law that it follow is the Aircraft Act of 1934. So this is the old act, but still it is into the use. Okay. It's walk into the area of the regulation and safety, it provide the licensing and other thing to the airlines and the pilots. Also, it's ensure the continued airworthiness of the aircraft registered into the India. So it's regulate the aircrafts as well. It's talk about the management of the airspace, that what is the area, what is the route that is the most effective, where there is the, it also regulate the air traffic control and airspace planning. Besides that, the most important thing, it also protect the consumer's right for the air passenger. So these are the all things you should be careful about. Okay. So what we need here, system overseas, how there has been the delayed and ignorance of the law. For example, International Civil Aviation Organization, it brought the risk management system, fatigue risk management system. Under this, we will manage the fatigue condition of the pilots and the other crew member. Here under the fatigue, what are the different issues those pilots and the crew they are facing. So mental stress, their night duty, the way these rosters are maintained, all this will be analyzed under this. But still India is not implementing it. Countries such as Japan, Singapore and UK, they have already implemented this fatigue risk management system. Okay, in these countries, they provide 2 days, at least 2 days into the week for the rest period for their pilots. and this help into the reclock, this readjust the body clock. Your body has clock that already have the different period that has been noted down internally, and it functions as per that clock setting. For example, it will note down what is your timing of the going to the bed and coming out of the bed, what is your sleep time, what is your time for the taking the breakfast, exercise, rest time. When you are very active, your body respond accordingly. So here 2 days or 2 days off that provides sufficient time to reset the body clock. Okay. But in Indian case, whenever the pilots advocates for the fair working condition, what the airlines start talking about the you pilots, you are being paid much more than your capacity. You are overpaid. Such type of the thing is given to cut their different demands such as the fair working condition, adequate rest period, and the time with the family. All these are cut just to saying that you are overpaid. It doesn't mean that you are paid highly, that your condition of the work, your working condition could be plight. It is deteriorating. It should be also healthy, comfortable. It's provide the sufficient time so that we can manage our time with the family. We can take rest. Okay. And we have seen that there are the many cases. There are the death. There is the suicide cases into the such case of the lack of the proper timing provided for the rest or the spent with the family. Even the airlines the roster is the issue. Roster means it provides the timing and a different schedule of the work of the pilots, and the pilots get just 12 hours, 12 hours before their working time. For example, if they have to work tomorrow, so in midnight at the 12 o'clock, they will get their roster that in the midday at the 12 or the 1 p.m. you have a flight, so they have to join. If they want to take the leave at that particular time, they want to make some of the their own prior adjustment engagement with the personal life, they cannot do because they are threatened with the threat that you will be taken under the disciplinary action. So these are the things with the airline roster. Minimum crew requirement that is set by the DGCA, that is not followed by a single airlines. Mostly these airlines, they have the crew numbers much lesser than this minimum crew requirement that is set by the DGCA, and DGCA doesn't try to implement into the its later and the spirit. Why? They want to increase, they want to see the growing aviation industry. They are focusing on only the growth. And that's why they are ignoring the safety measure. The financial stress, you are talking about the overpaid, and there has been the many case where due to this financial stress, we have seen that the pilots' mental health deteriorating and their decision making impacted by that. And there has been the two crashes events, Silk Air crash into the 1997 and Egyptair crash into the 1999. In the both cases, it was the financial issue with the pilot that was the main cause of this event. Okay. Even we have seen that the recent report that suggests that the financial pressure on these pilots, and there has been the such compromise. Okay, so we have seen that the Vistara co-pilot facing income cuts with the airline merge with the Air India. There has been the merger of the four airlines, and we have seen that this salary cut of these co-pilots. Okay. So airlines would be co-pilots at the future captain instead of just the warden. This is the case here, it is provided. And beside that, we have seen that the human resource department that stick these co-pilots and other crew member as the warden. Instead of they should see these co-pilots as the future human resources. If they will prepare them, they will be the pilot and the captain of the future. And the most important thing, recently we have seen that there is need for the transparency and the ethical practice that is essential. You have to create a brand name that is respected, that has the credibility, that is very important for this civil industry. Okay. Beside that, what could be the solution? You are talking about you don't have the time for the training and the checks for the pilot's licensing. So what you can do, you can follow the International Civil Aviation Organization Annexure 1 standard. It's provided for the foreign licenses, as well as you can hire the foreign pilots for the your working. Okay, so here the encouraging the experienced Indian pilots working abroad, that is also helpful. But the thing is that for the training, we have the rule that we only hire those who are the active pilots for the training and the checking of the licensing process of those pilots. Already they have gone through the training. Okay, so the thing is that you are following the outdated law that was framed into the 1937. So such type of the law, if that has not aligned with the present demand as per the present technology, there is the chances of the more corruption, and it hindered the Indian aviation progress. Okay. So recently we saw that the excuses like the air traffic control delay for the flight disruption by the Vistara itself. Okay. So here the air traffic control delay, generally it is on the ground of there is the weather condition that is not supportive. There could be the chances that we are not getting the we are not getting the signal for the our air route, and there is the congestions, there is the weather condition that is not good for the flight. So all these things are given for the flight disruption and flight cancellation. So here the writer is talking about the transparency and the brand loyalty. That is the most important thing for the success of the civil aviation, instead of cost cutting or the compromise with the safety of the passenger and the safety of the pilots. So this is all about from this news analysis. Recently it is in the news because there has been the notification from the DGCA for giving the proper time for the resting and the other thing to the pilots. Now it has been delayed because of there was the protest from the airline industry. So this is all about from this news article. Next important news that we will cover is the promise or the Paris. Here it is analyzed how the manifesto and the promises that is being made into the different political parties' manifesto that lacks the vision. It is into the context of the recent manifesto by the Congress, and in its manifesto it has brought lot of promises. The first thing you should know that the name of this manifesto is the Nyaya Patra. And okay, it is talking about the lot of the social, economic and the political rights. The social rights that such as it is talking about that it will bring the removal of the 50% cap on the reservation so that more number of the SC, ST and OBC can be provided with the reservation as per their population and as per their number. So it is also promising for the conducting a nationwide the caste census. So here, okay, so this is the social area. The main promise area is that it will provide the 25 guarantees. Okay, so this is the social area. Into the economic area, it is talking about it will provide the cash transfer such as the 1 lakh rupees for the women directly in their account. It has also the political area where we have seen that there has been the arrest and the denial of the bail. So here it is talking that we will make the bail as the rule and jail as the exception, as it has been seen into the Supreme Court judgment as well, that the bail is the rule and jail is the exception. You have to provide the bail if there is no substantial ground or there is no a full proof on the retaining or retention or the continuous judicial custody or the police custody for the person. So jail should be the exception and bail should be the rule. As per their promise, they will try to bring it into the criminal law and ensure that. Okay, they will also review the law affecting the privacy of individual and the choice of the individual. Beside that, the way media and internet has been regulated and restricted, so they will also bring the regulation with respect to media and internet freedom. So okay, all this thing is fine. this is needed, but the way they are talking about the unconditional cash transfer, where the money will come from for this. You are talking about the legal right of the minimum support price, and this will need a huge money. Where the money will come from, you should have explained. You are lacking on this side. So this is here, it is being criticized that you are just being bringing the all over the different promises on the basis of the just to compete with others, because others are also promising and providing such things. So here you need to bring the imagination and rationality. So they are lacking the imagination and failing to offer distinct policy beyond the standard welfare scheme. This is the main criticism. The next news that we will cover is again from the editorial. This is talking about the perverse intent. So here it is mainly about the CAA, that it suffered the different type of the limitation. The first limitation is that you have provided this citizenship rule that we will provide the relaxation. Instead of 11 years, you just have to be spent 5 years into the India and you will get the citizenship. This is fine, this is good, because this is pro-refugee, this is the pro-human right. So providing the citizenship is good for the humanity, because the people suffer a lot of due to the lack of the citizenship or the citizenry. Okay. Even you can imagine that even you are a normal citizen and you have lot of difficulty in your life. You don't have the job, you don't have the livelihood options, you don't have the better living condition, all thing is there. Think about that. Even those people who don't have even the simple citizenship, they cannot say that they belong from this area. So that's why it is very good to provide concession for the citizenship. But the thing is that your condition for the persecution on the basis of the religion, you are just giving the religious persecution. What about there could be the persecution on the basis of the language, on the ideology, different other area. So here you are not providing the equal footing for the all person. Okay. Besides that, you are bringing these into the very selected area, despite there is the condition, such condition of the persecution in the other nations. For example, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, there are the lot of such persecution. The third thing is that the way you have ignored the different religion, for example, you have excluded the Muslims. Besides that, you have also excluded the atheist and agnostic. So here, what about these people? And they are also persecuted on the basis of their religion, their belief, their faith. Okay. So CA rule do not require the foreign applicants to renounce citizenship, and it amount for the double citizenship as well. And it's violate the Article 9 of the Indian Constitution as well as Citizenship Act of the 1955. All these are the things where these all is violating the fundamental rights or the Indian constitutional provision. Besides that, despite India is not a signatory of the UN Convention relating to the status of refugee. So please remember this in the prelims. They can ask that India is signatory of the UN Convention relating to the status of refugee. India is not signatory. If it would have been the signatory, it would have been the violating many provisions of this convention as well. So here the demand from the different critics, already we have seen that the plea into the Supreme Court. So please declare this law, this amendment as the unconstitutional. Okay, so this is all about from these two articles. We are going to take is the marching ahead with the technology absorption. So here it is talking about into the case of the defense technology absorption that's play a very crucial role. But it want to convey that not only the new technology but integration with the traditional technology that matters. So here the writer is talking that whenever you are talking about the new technology, what it means by. First of all, India want to bring the self-reliance under its Atmanirbhar Bharat. This is the plan that we are following self-reliance into the defense as well. We want to bring self-reliance into the many area like the manufacturing. Okay, so we want to reduce our import as well. We want to bring more export. All this thing is there. New technology we want to bring. We want to reduce our technological dependency in any of the area from the outside. So we see that what is meant by this technology absorption. It means that we need for the disruptive technology. And what are the disruptive technology? It could be the artificial intelligence. It could be the drones, new drones. We are seeing that into the different use. It could be the sensors. The sensors are they are being used into the defense technology. Sensors are very important for this drones, artificial intelligence, automatic attack system, defense system. Everywhere these modern sensors are very important. Robotics and the space technology is the other area, and hypersonic weapons such as the ballistic missile with a very high speed. Okay, so recently we saw that our own system that we have developed. Under that we can attack multiple point in by the single missile. Okay, so we saw that India has achieving this technology. Why? We are developing the high level of the sensor. Okay, so robotics can be used into the lot of area. Beside the defense, we can use into the hazardous area. Okay, so here we have seen that what its technological absorption mean, and already we have seen the nations such as the US and China. They have made a lot of advancement in these disruptive technology, and that's why they are leading. And here the absorption include acquiring. You acquire the new technology, you adapt with the new technology. And many a times we are lagging with the new technology. Adaptation means you are going to make part of your own system, and that's why adapting is very important. And integrating with the already existing technology. Integration is important. It doesn't mean that only the new technology can win the war. Yes, this new technology, they have increased the lethal capacity. Lethal capacity means the capacity to destroy, the capacity to make the attack in a more rigorous form. But it doesn't mean that they are able to deliver all this thing on the ground. Recently we saw all this capability. Here the war that is going with the Russia and Ukraine, also between the Armenia and Azerbaijan. This Azerbaijan and Armenia, that conflict is going into the area of the Nagorno-Karabakh area. Nagorno-Karabakh area, this is the area. This is the Azerbaijan, this is Armenia. If you will see into the map of Middle East, here it is Iran, here it is Caspian Sea, and Armenia is here. Okay. This is the Azerbaijan and this is the Armenia. And there is the fight that is going on between them, because many of the area that has been captured by the Armenia, some of the area by the Azerbaijan. Also, Russian occupation has been seen into the many areas. So there is the conflict that continuously going on. Recently, even we saw that in the case of the war between Russia and Ukraine, Russia is dominating because of its traditional weapon system, traditional military system. That is dominating factor, and that's why Russia is leading. Russia is at the advantageous position. We have seen that this Russian army's traditional methodology. Okay. And also we have seen that the consolidation of the defense line and having a strong military industrial base of the Russia instead of Ukraine, where it is totally dependent on the European technology and US technology. And whenever they are not able to provide, they are lagging, they are on the disadvantageous position. And in the recent case, we have seen that Ukraine is at its back foot. In case of India, we have seen that we are focusing on the disruptive technology as well as the indigenous defense upgradation, and that's why it is very good and the positive step into the case of our defense and the overall internal security. Now we will see that in war, adapting to the new condition is crucial. So here we will see that it is not that always the new technology you have to acquire and you have to use. Many a times in the war, what you have to learn that if there is the new technology that emerged, so you have to learn how you are going to tackle that new technology. For example, here it is given that the technical countermeasure quickly neutralize the effectiveness of the new technology, and the example that is given of the tank. For example, we are using the tank for a very long time. New technology emerged to detect the tank and destroy the tank. So what we learned that how we can decept the new technology that they cannot detect the tank, and we conceal the tank. So this is not new. This dispersion, cover and concealment, this is very long tradition. So into the war, you have to learn the new technology. Same time, you have to also learn the neutralization of the new technology. And in the war, the most crucial adaptation is to you have to learn how you are going to operationalize and use in a tactical manner. Okay. So it is not that always the new technology advancement that is needed, but yes, you have to learn how you need to neutralize. Okay. Here it is said that the how you need to plan. You need to plan ahead before the enemy can learn your method. Okay, so here instead of replacing the conventional platform, we learn to solve this issue with the digital solution future planning, and mostly it is dependent on the integrating the technology, integration of the technology, that is the most crucial area. Okay. Beside that, you have to learn that what is your vulnerability, and you have to acknowledge as well. Okay. And understand the gap between the current capability and the outcome that is needed. Okay. So it is very essential to understand the new technology. Even you have not upgraded or you have not developed your own technology, but at least you should have the good understanding of the latest technology so that you can prevent of the any of the lethal attack. Okay. So here the technology absorption should occur at the all level. It is not that you are always on the top level that you are thinking and you are planning for the new technology. Okay, so here it is talking about the macro level aspect like the organizational restructuring, human resource management and decentralization of specialist role are vital for the successful absorption. Okay. Beside that, what we have to learn? We have to learn the civil military fusion and the data integrity policy. So data integrity, that is now become core area. Okay. Beside that, you have to be updated your technology with the procurement, as if you are not able to develop all this thing that is needed and understanding that is needed from the Indian side so that they can make their defense and its strategy, its planning more holistic. So this is all from this news article. Now we will write a answer for the mains. This is the question from the same topic, that to assess the importance of adapting operational and tactical approach in modern warfare considering the rapid advancement in the technology. So here our ground will be same, the importance of adapting operational and tactical approach and in the context of the modern warfare and rapid advancement of the technology. So how you should start? First of all, you should start with the Indian context, that how India is now focusing on the technology absorption. You can bring the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme. Okay. After that, you have to bring the technology's potential and the limitation. You have to bring that, yes, there is the need for the new technology, but already you have to recognize the what is the potential. Already we have discussed that yes, the new technology can add the lethal, but the traditional technology is also important, and integration of the new technology with the old technology, traditional technology is important. You can bring all these tactics of the cover, concealment, all this thing. Okay. Beside that, you should also bring the legacy of the complementing the legacy system, and also bring the operational and tactical adaptation. That is very important. Already it has asked, it has the core demand of the question. Okay, so without operational and tactical adaptation, you cannot win the war. You can bring the example of the Ukraine and Russia war. Okay, the Israeli and Hamas that is going on, the Armenia and Azerbaijan, they are fighting. You can bring all these example in a very brief manner. Okay. Further, you can bring the planning for the effective absorption. It is not that you are going to absorb. You need to plan, you need to execute all the thing as per your requirement, your understanding. In the last, you can conclude that India is positively moving in this trajectory. However, you also have to bring the nuances into the new technology integration and how it's need the planning that already you have discussed. This should be the clear-cut approach for the your answer. Let's bring some of the question that the topic we have covered till now. So first question you should solve. Consider following statement regarding citizenship in India. The concept of dual citizenship is recognized by the Indian Constitution. Second, a person of Indian origin living abroad can acquire Indian citizenship through registration. Which of the following statement is correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one nor two. So if you will go, the concept of the dual citizenship, it is not accepted into the Indian Constitution, and even Article 19 that's clearly acknowledge it. Okay, so there could be the renunciation, there could be the suspension of your citizenship whenever you are going to acquire the citizenship of the other country. Okay, a person of Indian origin abroad can acquire the Indian citizenship. Yes, this is true, and this is for the registration. So we have seen that different method of the citizenship, like the birth, descent, registration, naturalization, acquiring of the land, all these things. So second is correct, one is incorrect, so B will be the correct answer. Which of the following is not a core function area of the DGCA? A. Regulation of air transport service. B. Personal licensing. C. Construction of new airport. D. Air safety. So here we will see that odd out. Construction of new airport. This is done by the Airport Authority of India. Airport Authority of India, AAI. Please remember this. Airport Authority of India, that's do. So C will be not correct because it is not done by the DGCA. Question number 3. Consider the following. Issuance of pilot license. Second, certification of an airline maintenance procedure. Third, investigation of the serious air accident. Which of the above function comes under the purview of DGCA? So we saw that it is the issuance of the pilot license we do, and it is done by the DGCA. Certification of airline maintenance procedure also done by the DGCA. Investigation into the serious accident is also done by the DGCA. So it will be the D. All 1, 2, 3 is the correct, are the correct. Question number 4. The term airworthiness directive issued by the DGCA refers to mandatory instruction for the airline regarding the safety and related modification or inspection. Guideline on the passenger rights and the compensation scheme. C. Rules for registering a new aircraft in India. Environmental regulation for the aviation. So all is under the DGCA. But if you will go for the airworthiness directive, so it will be the mandatory instruction for the airlines regarding the safety and related modification or the inspection. So this will come under the airworthiness directive. Last question. Which of the following grounds can lead to the loss of Indian citizenship? Renunciation, deprivation by the central government, acquiring citizenship of the another country. So you will find that all these three are the ground that can lead to the loss of Indian citizenship. So D will be the correct answer. So this is all about from the today's news. We have covered most of the relevant news that is relevant for the UPSC and the state pieces. We have done few of the questions from the prelims. We have tried to practice one of the main questions. So this is a complete package. This is the complete analysis of this daily current affairs. Here we will conclude our session. Thank you for joining the session. All the best. Jai Hind.